Hey folks, everything new under the sun. I had some comments about on my channel on various videos, about the suggestion, or I'm not going to say fact, but the suggestion that we are in the seals, or the seals have already started. And I wanted to take a look at that because it's kind of interesting. Now, this is going to be kind of quick and dirty about Revelation 6, but we're going to just talk through it briefly and the potential implications from it. Now, the assumption is that the seals are chronological. The other assumption is that the seals do not start until the 7-year period, and some people believe we're in the 7-year period. Some people believe the 7-year period hasn't started. But the question is, could we see or be in the middle of the opening of the seals, specifically the first seal? Now, we're looking at Revelation 6. Revelation 6, verse 2. And I saw, now this is blueletterbible.com, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And so the question is, I don't know if you can see that, but the question is that, can we prove that that's occurring right now? And I think it is this one. This is an interesting page. This is from evidenceunseen.com. There's 3 options. The rider on the white horse is Christ. The rider is symbolic of all Christians spreading the gospel. Or option 3, the rider is the Antichrist. Now, the common belief is that the rider is the Antichrist. So the rider is Christ. Advocates of this view point out that the Lamb Jesus was mentioned closely in context. The figure rides a white horse, which also fits Christ's second coming when he comes in judgment. The symbolicness. Advocates of this view make a number of observations. First, the term Nikeo, conquering and to conquer, is positive 13 of 15 times in its use in the book of Revelation. Up until the point in Revelation, it has been consistently positive. Second, the victor's crown, Stephanos, was promised to believers earlier in the book. Third, this view correlates with the gospel reaching all nations, which was also predicted as a precursor by Jesus. While this isn't the view of this author, it is plausible this author holds to the third view. So, symbolic of all Christians spreading the gospel. Again, conquering and to conquer, with the gospel, something like that. I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense to me. The third option, though, does, because there are later verses where the Lord actually returns. The second coming actually happens. So the third option is that the rider is the Antichrist, someone masquerading as Christ, but not coming with any firepower, effectively. He comes with a bow, but nothing else. First, the archangel commands this figure to come. This hardly fits the notion that the figure is Christ. So if it was Christ Jesus, no one would be commanding this rider on the white horse to come. So Christ is greater than the angels. Second, John says a crown was given to him. This implies that he doesn't have the authority in and of himself. Of course, Jesus Christ is God, 3 in 1, and so he doesn't need a crown given to him. He already has the authority. It says, instead, God gave him this authority. This conception of delegated authority fits with the second angel in verse 4. It was granted to take peace from earth, and a great sword was given to him. And a fourth angel of verse 8, authority was given to them. This also fits with chapter 13, where God allows the beast to make war with the saints and overcome them. So it does seem that this rider is not Jesus, not Christ. It goes on. Third, the rider carries a bow, while Christ carries a sword. So that's kind of a key indicator, a key differentiator. Fourth, the context of the passage deals with other riders. So there's 3 other riders. Who are they? Are there other, Christs coming on different horses? Or is Christ coming on 4 different horses? It doesn't make sense, especially when you look at the result of the other horses. It speaks of, they're clearly not Christ or even godly angels. So it seems like they're bad, demonic of some sort. So let's go back to Revelation 6. Now, here you can go to interlinear, and this goes in to the text specifically and looks at the original words. Let's see. And so if you look at the main words, there's two words I want to bring. Well, first, white, leukos. That's interesting. Leukos in the Greek there. Leukos means a light, bright, brilliant, brilliant from whiteness of garments of angels and those exalted to splendor of heavenly state. Now, so this, this is a good reason why maybe people think, well, maybe he's Christ because he's wearing something that is brilliant light. But we know that Satan comes as an angel of light, and so he masquerades as good, but he is bad. The next thing that we often talk about is, let's see, the bow. So let me scroll up here. So the bow. Now, many people say, well, you know what? Bow in the Greek is toxon, and that means a toxin. So let's look at this toxon. It's pronounced toxon. So again, it says, let's see. It doesn't really give a definition. Oh yeah, from the base, a bow. Apparently, as the simplest fabric. Bow. So there you go. That's kind of the definition of that. So it doesn't mean toxin. Toxin is different, obviously. So if you look up toxon, of course, it doesn't translate to an English word. It's not toxin, as in COVID or some poison or something else, right? So that's not what we're talking about there. Well, you can't see the translation when I'm clicking on it, but anyways. So that's kind of a place that people are stretching to understand what toxon means. But maybe God can have a play on words, and we understand it differently in the English language. What does it look like in Japanese or something? What's their word for poison? Does it sound like toxon? I don't know. But that's kind of one reason why people say, well, that's the pandemic. That's COVID right there. Toxon, poison. Now the next thing is crown. And of course, the whole idea of corona. Corona means a crown. And let's just, let me a second here. It's going to go like that. Corona definition. And let's just bring it up here. So this is Merriam-Webster. Reveal this here. Corona. What does corona mean, as it relates to coronavirus? A faintly colored luminous ring or halo appearing to surround a celestial body when viewed through haze or thin cloud. So people say, well, corona, did this person on the white horse who's coming to conquer and to conquering and to conquer, that's coronavirus, corona, because the crown, right? Again, though, the original word is Stephanos. And Stephanos here, let's see, Stephanos, and it does mean crown. So that's what our understanding of it is. A mark of royal, exalted rank, a wreath, interesting, a wreath, a garland that was given a prize to victors in public games. But as I've heard it before, as I've heard it referred to before, it doesn't refer to a kingly crown, but a crown that you've won. And Jesus doesn't win the crown. He owns the crown. It's not something he wins or he attains. He just has it. So it's a different sort of thing from in terms of this idea of a wreath or garland. So is it a kingly crown? Maybe further review needs to have there. Back to this toxon, I wanted to take a look at the root etymology, which is... I can't even pronounce that, but tikwa. And this is interesting. Again, back to the bow rather. Tick-toe. And this is interesting. So the bow is referring to, means to bring forth, bear, produce. A woman giving birth. Interesting. When you look at, the Christians that we're in the gestation period. I think that's how Scotty puts it. The word is escaping me. But we will be birthed when we are raptured. The body of Christ will be birthed fully and completely, will be done, will be done baking in the oven, if you will, when Christ takes us out of here. Right now we're growing as a church in the womb. So the bow apparently speaks of woman giving birth and the earth bringing forth its fruits, which is interesting. So this rider brings a bow. There's no arrows in the bow, but there is some sort of birth happening, and fruits. You talk about Christ being the first fruits. Does something related to this happen to the church? Is there some sort of rapture indicated in some proximity to this person? Maybe it's the seals. They happen all in quick succession, and shortly after, this is a woman giving birth, but shortly after we will be birthed as the body of Christ. So maybe there's a reference there. It's interesting, I think, to look at. So back to the crown. We spoke about the crown, and that's certainly an interesting idea there of what type of crown it was. And like I say, you can go into this further and look at it. Let's see. We looked at that. What was this? Nikeo. Yes, to conquer. So if we go back and look at, the rider on the white horse, and let's read it again. And I saw, behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, Toxon, giving birth, something like that, and a crown, corona, Stephanos, a wreath, something that you win, was given. That crown was given to him, just like the command to go in, the authority to go in and to conquer and to conquer. And so there was something given to this particular person. Remember, Jesus, God, doesn't have anything given to them. They own everything. They own everything. He owns everything. There is nothing that anybody can give him. He has it all. It's all his. He created it. But this rider is being given the crown. So it's not Jesus Christ. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. So we go down to conquering. So Nikeo. So what does conquering mean? And so again, looking at the Greek, it says to conquer, to carry off the victory, come off victorious, of Christ, victorious over all his foes, of Christians that hold fast their faith even unto death against the power of foes. When one is arraigned or goes to law to win a case, maintains one cause. So this rider comes and conquers, in the several meanings of conquer, he went forth conquering and to conquer. So he went forth conquering. He conquered something, and he was also he came to conquer, but apparently he didn't finish conquering everybody. So I wonder if that means that he didn't conquer the Christians, and he certainly hasn't conquered Jesus Christ, but he came. That's why he came. He was given a crown to come, but he hasn't completed that. Now, that's interesting, and you can't make anything dogmatic out of that, but that's interesting. Now, as we look at the verses again, the suggestion is, well, maybe we're in there. Maybe maybe this whole pandemic is basically a description of verse 2 in Revelation. Let's go to the full list of verses here. I want to, let's see, get rid of that. There we go. So again, verse 2, and behold, I saw a white horse, and he sat on him, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. Now, if this is chronological, if this starts at the beginning of the 7-year period, what would we expect would be next? And when he had opened the second seal, so there seems like a chronological progression of opening the seals, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard a second beast come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there he was given unto him a great sword. Interesting that the famine comes after that. First, you have COVID, and then you have riots in the streets. You have uprisings. People don't like mandates. You have people fighting each other, clashes, protests, all these things, and war breaking out because of the frustration and all the things, the totalitarianism and the police. You could look at that and you could say, well, maybe that's kind of the next step that this evolves into, that this pandemic evolves into. I think they all kind of happen and mix and all at the same time. And we're seeing all these things. And though it may not be the absolute fulfillment of all these, I think we're starting to see these. So the next thing after the pandemic maybe is that everybody starts to kill one another. The love of many grows cold, right? And then after that, once that happens, I mean, the whole economy comes to a halt if everybody's killing each other and fighting around the world, and countries are fighting against countries. And by the way, pay attention to what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. There's a battle on the borders there. Pay attention to Israel and Iran. Seems like there is maybe a war brewing there that they're getting ready for. And they had been for a while, but talk is increasing again. They're putting together a plan. So again, this is for another video, but Revelation chapter 6, verse 4, we can start looking at the translation, the original root meanings of the words, the etymology of the words. And maybe this will be the next thing. But it's hard to say until the event actually takes place and you can look back on it and say, okay, here's this word. It means this. What do we see in the world? Does it match up? Does it correlate? And we might be able to say yes or no to that. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go too far. This video is long already. But the next thing you'd see is people killing each other and hatred and fighting, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And then quickly after that, there would be the famine, and then the fourth seal, death, and great persecution, I think, all through here. So interesting to take a look at kind of the root words there, the original language, and to understand what it means, and to say, what could it mean? Is COVID Revelation 2, and are we in the middle of it, or did it just, occur and we're kind of at the tail end heading into the second horse, the red horse of the four horsemen of the apocalypse? So something to think about, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, and if you guys put a bunch of comments there, let me know what you think, and maybe I'll do a comments on comment video about it. All right, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you in the next video.